I'd like to call the meeting to order. Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you all to the Board of Aldermen meeting for Monday, August 4th, 2025. First order of business tonight would be additions, deletions, or other modifications to the agenda. Anyone have any changes they want to make to the agenda? Seeing none, we will move right along. Approval of the minutes of the previous meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion to approve. It's been seconded. Anyone with any changes to the minutes that they see? Seeing none. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? Motion passes. Okay, we're on to public comment. So we have at least a couple of folks who want to speak outside the rail. Again, I'm going to remind people this is on topics that are not on the agenda. I have politely asked over the last few meetings to keep your comments to 5 minutes and to keep them respectful and to address an issue that you are looking for some help or support or a knowledge to the Board of Aldermen, the topic city-centered. So having said all that, who would like to go first? Raise your hand. Jennifer, would you like to go first? Why don't you step right up? And welcome to the Board of Aldermen meeting.
Thank you. So I'm Jen Krebs. I'm from the Vermont Fish and Wildlife Department, and I'm here to talk about a proposed acquisition that the department is pursuing in the city of Rutland. Procedurally, Fish and Wildlife likes to go to every town and city that we are pursuing land in to seek approval for that acquisition. The project that I have today is 1.5 acres. It would be a subdivision from a larger parcel. It's currently owned by a private individual, and upon acquisition, the parcel that is located south of Route 4, and it's close to the junction of River Street and Door Drive, and it also sits on the bank of East Creek, right near its confluence into the Otter Creek. This is a really great location for Vermont Fish and Wildlife to have a fishing access area. These access areas we have over 200 access areas all over the state of Vermont, and they range in how they're developed from a multi-lane boat ramp to an unimproved area where folks could drag paddlecraft down. Folks can do angling from the banks, and in this particular location, the river hosts both cold water and freshwater species. It's well poised to be an unimproved access area, so not something where we would be interested in installing a boat ramp, but something that would provide access to paddlecraft, especially for folks seeking to paddle on sections of the Otter Creek or move on up the East Creek. The next closest access points on the Otter Creek are down in Clarendon and then not too far north in Rutland, but we do have some dams in between, one a defunct dam. So this access point, it's already a used fishery by folks that we've seen shore fishing just anecdotally as we're driving around. And the 1.5 acres is currently being appraised. We would pay fair market value to the landowner for that acreage. And then after the acquisition, if we move forward, the Vermont Fish and Wildlife, our parent organization, the Agency of Natural Resources, would provide a pilot, a payment in lieu of taxes, to the city annually. That pilot rate is based off of the grand list in the year of acquisition. So the pilot payments are intended to provide some tax revenue to the town in lieu of the tax payment that the city would otherwise receive. I know I'm probably getting close to my 5 minutes, so I do want to answer any questions here.
Well, that's kind of a loose number, but, no, why don't we see if there's any questions from any members of the board? Seems to be pretty cut and dry. In your presentation, did you mention that the landowner was amenable to this?
Yes, absolutely.
Situation?
Yes, we are still drafting a purchase and sale agreement, but lands that we pursue at Vermont Fish and Wildlife, we only pursue with voluntary landowners.
Right.
So if at any point the landowner does not wish to sell the land to the state, we would stop.
Yeah, good. Alderman Gillam?
Do you need official action from us?
That is a great question. While we are not required to seek approval from the city, I find that it's great for the relationship building that we are coming to present about the lands that we are interested in your city. And I am required to seek approval from Governor Phil Scott. And one of his big interests is the city in support. He wants to make sure that he's taking into consideration the wishes of the city.
Yes, so Alderman Gillam, there's, Jennifer's been good enough to put, I don't know if you put this together, but yeah. Just a short letter of support from the Board of Aldermen with a place for a signature for me on behalf of the board. I can read it. The Board of Aldermen reviewed your proposal summarizing Vermont Fish and Wildlife Department's planned acquisition of the 1.5 acres of property on Otter Creek at River Street and Door Drive in Rutland. At our meeting on Monday, the 4th of August, 2025, we are writing to affirm our support for Vermont Fish and Wildlife's acquisition, and sincerely, blah, blah, blah.
I'll move to
Suspend the rules,
suspend.
take the matter up tonight.
Second.
Okay, motion to suspend the rules, take the action, or take the issue up tonight. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion passes.
Move to approve the president to sign the letter.
Second.
Okay. Debate on that. Alderman Donahue.
Yeah, just wanted to ask, so you mentioned in here that it requires a subdivision, so, because you said that you don't need permits, but you do need a subdivision from the city of Rutland, right?
Yes, we would have to get approval for the subdivision prior to closing.
Do you know how big that parcel is currently? It's 1.5 acres of what?
Good question. I don't off the top of my head, but if you have the map in front of you, I can point out which parcel. Are the parcel lines on there? Oh, they're not on my maps. But the parcel that is highlighted in blue on the map north of River Street is the same span as the land that you see south of River Street, which is also south of Otter Creek. So the rest of the parcel, its western boundary is Door Drive. I believe it would be at least 30 acres.
So Alderman Donahue, I think we might be able to have someone answer that question for you, Commissioner Orlowski. Might be able to.
Yeah, to be more specific, I just wanted to know if you're able to divulge, what the purchase price, because my only concern, honestly, is that if we're taking it off the tax rolls, what is it generating in tax today versus the payment in lieu of taxes? And I'm wondering if there was a digit wrong, because it says it would be $33.91 a year, the pilot?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So we'll be removing it from the tax rolls and reducing it to $33.91
Yep.
a year. It's also based on the current properties listed value. We're about to go through a citywide reappraisal, which would bring it up to, in theory, 100%. Right now, it's about 65%. So you would be paying in lieu of taxes, locking it in at the old rate, and it would not increase. By the way, this is written. I just don't know if you know if it increases when the city does their citywide reappraisal, or does it go by this rate permanent?
It would go by the grand list value the year of acquisition. So we would look at the grand list value if we were to close this year, and I can't say for certain if we would even be able to close this year. Similar to address your question just around the value of the property, I calculated that number based off of the grand list value and then looking at the larger parcel and then taking the proportion of just the 1.5 acres to get that number. But we don't currently have an appraisal finalized yet. So kind of at the rate we're moving right now without having an appraisal currently, and then still the rest of the approvals that I am required to get to move forward. I am projecting that I wouldn't close until the calendar year of 2026.
But it won't be taxed at the appraised value. It's going to be at the currently extremely low real estate value.
Well, it'll be based off of the grand list value at the year of
The grand list value.
acquisition,
Which is
yeah.
not going to be the appraised value.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the pilot payment is also, it should equal the tax rate that the town would receive in that same year for just that 1.5 acres, but you are correct in that it essentially freezes that rate year after a year. They do assess, the Agency of Natural Resources can assess every 3 to 5 years to do kind of a statewide increase on the pilot, but those do not keep pace with, as you said, like the land value and tax rate increases.
Thank you.
Okay, Alderman Gillam?
Yes, I do understand where Alderman Donohue's going, but this is a neighborhood that we're trying to preserve, and this goes right by the bike path, and this all falls right into the recreation piece here, and I think this is going to be a good piece of land to set aside for fishing. And believe me, I don't know any other city that has a good fishing access in this area like that one there is, because two rivers come together. I'm very familiar with that because I used to be there fishing at one time when I was much smaller. But I think this is a good thing for the city. It's also a good place for recreation to happen, so.
Okay, good, thank you. Alderman Wickham?
Thank you, President Larry. Mostly just want to echo what Alderman Gillam said. This is a particularly great spot for fishing, in particular trophy trout. I think, while there may be a slight loss year over year by locking this in at a particular set rate, the halo effect we can get from people coming from other communities who will come, they will fish for half a day, they'll go out, get lunch, get dinner. I think we'll end up making more than we would have lost on the tax revenue, as well as cleaning up the neighborhood, as well as continuing to improve our recreation opportunities here.
Okay, great, thank you. Alderman Cooperly?
Yeah, Jennifer, I have a concern, and it may not be a real concern, but is that in a flood zone down there?
It is, yeah.
And what kind of improvements are you going to make?
Right now, we don't have any improvements planned, and that's actually something that we are even sharing with our agency leadership and governor, is that to make this a public fishing access area, there are no needed improvements on site. There's currently a 75-foot paved driveway, if you want to call it that, but from there, that could serve as the parking. We may add some like rock blocks so that folks couldn't continue to drive all the way up to the river. It is also currently fenced. And while the fence would remain on the eastern boundary separating the neighboring landowner, I don't believe we would maintain the fence along River Street.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Alderman Gillam?
Yep, just one more time. It is a wetland, so the developer cannot use that property anyway to put a building on it. So it's not any value to the city if they can't develop it into some commercial property. But that's the reason why that piece on the other side of that, there is a solar field there, and that's why it's pushed way over, and that's why we had to move the bike path around, because it is all wetlands, so it's useless to the city. I'd rather have it used for recreation. It's the best use for it.
Thank you. Alderman Donahue?
Just one last thing, Jennifer, if it hasn't been already designed, I would ask if it's possible that it be a handicap accessible site.
Yeah, absolutely. All of our fishing access areas are undergoing an accessibility review currently, where we're gauging the accessibility, and our staff are trained to look for that, and any new infrastructure that is being built, they're assessing for accessibility as well.
It's important.
It is.
Okay, anyone else? Got a motion to support the letter and to have it signed by the board president supporting this effort. If there's no further debate, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed? Motion passes. Okay, and we will get that signed and sent off.
Sure. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you for coming in. All right, anyone else outside the rail? Yes, please, Barbara. And hello there.
Thank you for this opportunity. I just wanted to take a moment to introduce the new Executive Director of the Rutland Redevelopment Authority, and it is Sean Atkins, and he's here this evening to say a few words.
Okay, very good.
He didn't know.
I did not know I was here.
You didn't know you were going to say something? Well, she's famous for that.
Yeah. I was like, oh, okay, sure. Yeah, that's
Well,
fine.
welcome.
Thank you very much. I'll just keep it brief. Thank you. I know some of you in here in the room already, and I'm just looking forward to it, and I'm glad to be here. So thank you for having me. Thank you.
Terrific.
Appreciate it.
Very good. We look forward to the good work.
Definitely going to have your hands full now.
Okay, and anyone else outside the rail? On an issue not on the agenda? Yes, please. Welcome, good evening. You and I chatted briefly before the meeting and just talked about, having this going to be a new issue you're bringing before the board, and we're going to keep it as close to 5 as we can. So, go ahead.
Thank you for giving me this time. My name is Alexis Moore. I live at 38 Pine Street, apartment 4 in Rutland. What I did on Sunday was a little bit of market research. I spent a half hour in different parts of our beautiful city, and I photographed car registrations. I call them tags. For some time now, I have noticed an increasing problem in terms of how many paper, handwritten, homemade, and basically destroyed registrations and tags attached to these vehicles. And the problem I'm seeing is that it's a way for criminals to hide their identity. They can just come up with any kind of tag, write it up, or steal it from somebody, or they see that's a car that looks just like what they have, or they want to drive into whatever location, and they just take down the number. And how does anybody monitor this? It creates an exceptional safety issue. It's a public safety issue to have these cars moving around without any type of monitoring. Even when I photograph, it's very difficult, unless I stand right behind them and put it on Zoom, to get a clear picture or a clear view of the number and the letters and where they are from. Some of them use these little frames, and they are handwritten or they are home printed, but you cannot see the state where it's registered. I guess everybody assumes, well, they are here, so they are from Vermont. And I've seen too that at the bottom you can't see the expiration date. And I'll show you this one. This is from a BMW, a brand new $40,000 car, and it was rolling around town with a homemade or some type of printed registration that was cut in half. And I went and I took a photo. What does this look like to you? It's a tag. They just split it in half and they stuck it in the back of the car. And they saw me, taking photos. And then they said, well, we were just at the car wash, and this is a real tag. And the woman shows, I don't know if you can see it, a pink. Now she had it in pink. I guess she liked the pink color better, and you can see it there. She's holding up a little pink sign that she wrote her registration on. And that's how this car was moving around our town. It gets better. I'll tell you some more stories. Look at this one. It's a Cadillac. And the tag is home printed. But the letters and the numbers are rolled into one another in this very small space.
So Alexis, I think what I'm going to do is just have you stop right there. I think I understand what the issue is. I don't think the Board of Aldermen can actively pursue any action that you might be looking for to address this. Certainly the Rutland City Police may, and the Police Commission would be a good place to start. But I want to be careful about you zeroing in on particular people's cars and showing that in a public meeting, because I think that that's just a little concerning. So,
Chief Alderman, I haven't zeroed in on anybody in particular. These are just random cars
Right.
that happen to pass by. I'll show you another one.
Yeah.
This one says the expiration was July 23rd.
yeah.
And this was on Sunday.
Yeah.
And another one had an expiration of July 8th.
So Alexis, again, I'm going to ask, I thank you, I appreciate you coming. That's going to be it for tonight. We got the message, and then we wish you well.
May I request a
Thank you very much.
recommendation from this board that, so I can take it to the appropriate authorities, because then it will give me legitimacy that this is an important public safety issue that I have presented to you and
So I
your
think
board.
the appropriate authorities are sitting right over here on the other side of the room.
So that is your recommendation.
Yeah, so.
Thank you very
well,
much.
You're welcome.
Thank you for having me.
All righty. Thank you very much. Okay, so, one more time, anyone else outside the rail on an issue not on the agenda? Okay, very good. I'm going to move along. So, next up is communications from the mayor. You will notice that the mayor is not present tonight. He is a little under the weather. He did send me a note. Actually sent it to Tracy. He said, "Here is my update for tonight. If you or Dave could read this during the mayor's segment, I would appreciate it." So I'm going to go ahead and give it a whirl and read the mayor's statement for tonight. So good evening. I'm unable to attend tonight's meeting in person, but I wanted to provide a few quick updates for the mayor's office. First, Rutland City's TIF district. Last week, the Vermont Economic Progress Council, as we all know, unanimously approved the first phase filing for Rutland City's TIF district, tax increment finance. This approval will allow us to move forward with critical infrastructure improvements to Center and Whale Street in downtown Rutland. These improvements will include stormwater, wastewater, water, and streetscape upgrades, and because of the TIF district, all without increasing property taxes for Rutland City taxpayers. This phase filing is tied to the installation of the new downtown hotel and the process we've been going through with the development agreement. While the work is necessary for the hotel itself, it will also bring significant additional benefits to the entire TIF district, the city, and our residents, improving the district and the city as a whole. There will also be an upcoming bond vote in relation to this phase filing and these improvements, and we'll have more information on that bond vote in the future. Second issue, the transit center. As you may have heard, the bus has moved its operations out of the transit center for the time being. We will be meeting tomorrow with teams both from the city, MVRT, Marble Valley Regional Transit, and other responsible parties to discuss the current conditions and the work necessary to remedy the situation as it stands today. The group has reached out and requested additional assistance from our local delegation, and I will have a more robust update for the board after our meetings this week. And third, the Bardwell House fire response. And sincere thank you to the Rutland City Fire Department for their rapid response to the fire at the Bardwell House earlier today. I also want to thank our building department for working quickly alongside the fire department, the Red Cross, and Bardwell House staff to find both temporary and overnight shelter for displaced residents. The teams are continuing to work with the Bardwell House and local vendors to make sure as many residents as possible can return to their apartments quickly and safely. Thank you, and that's from Mayor Mike Dunges. Alderman Clifford.
Thank you, Mr. President.
You're welcome.
In regards to the transit center, I just want to, I think Alderman Gillam is our representative to the bus. Is that correct?
Yes.
Would you be attending this meeting? Do you know anything about, did you get an invite?
I don't know about the meeting till just now.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that we're kept.
Okay.
Kept,
Okay. Alderwoman Savage?
Also about the transit center and the bus, I know I had someone reach out to me because they are visually impaired, and moving to where they are now by the Amtrak station, there is no shelter, and this person has been soaked twice while waiting to transition from one bus to another, and just finding it incredibly difficult. So if there's some way we can also do maybe a temporary shelter or find maybe another location where there is shelter where the bus can transition might be a good idea.
Yep. Okay. Very good. Anyone else? Yes, Alderman Donahue.
Reinforce what Alderman Clifford was saying. I mean, I really think that our representative ought to be there. It's a pretty significant issue. It's a sea change in location, and it's in a very inconvenient spot now for pastors. It was abrupt, and, you know, we have a representative on the board. It's Bill, and I think we should be sure that he gets invited to that meeting. There's a lot of concern around that fairly abrupt move.
And I think,
I agree. Alderman Davis.
and I think if I may, making sure that the state is following the contract, because the contract is very clear about responsibilities and duties, which appear possibly to have been ignored. So I think the contract has to be front and center as well.
And I think I'll just add that Alderman Clifford, you and I had a brief conversation earlier about this very topic and the issues surrounding the transit center. And I don't know, now that you've heard the mayor's report, I don't know if you feel as though maybe you could make a motion to refer the whole particular issue of public safety in the transit center, or the transit center issue, you know, to an appropriate committee, if you so choose.
I know we did talk about that, but I will hold back on making that motion until the mayor can come back.
As the meeting?
Have his meeting.
Okay. Okay.
What he's found.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, so the issue of the leases in the transit center and so forth will be brought up by my committee on Thursday at 5:30.
Yep.
In the Lamontagne room, so that might be the appropriate
Yep.
venue.
We have a conversation about that there. Alderwoman McClure.
Just confirming, that's a Community and Economic Development Committee meeting. Did a warning or an ask go out to us via email for that? I will be out of town for work on Thursday, and as a member of the committee and a user of the bus, I would prefer to be there in person. Did I miss an email with an ask to the rest of the committee on a scheduling date?
Right, so there was two notices went out since I was away last week. I made sure they went out the week before I left, so there was plenty of notice. There was 2 weeks notice that it was going to be this following Thursday on the 14th
But there was no
of August.
ask email. I just want to confirm, because that's what I was
Right.
looking for.
It hasn't been the practice of this board to ask, and
Oh.
I haven't been asked by any committee chair that if I'm available for a meeting. The meetings are announced. I tried to give plenty of notice. It's 2 weeks' notice, and the city clerk put it out twice.
Okay, perfect. I just wanted to confirm, because that is not the information I have received from other more senior members of this board. So just wanted to confirm I knew what was going on there. I guess I'll just have to participate via phone from work.
Okay, so we have a meeting coming up on Thursday. Thank you very much. Thank you. So I'm going to move along if there's nothing else. Yes.
I'm sorry, is that meeting downstairs in that room?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. You're welcome. Thursday at 5:30, correct?
Yeah, Lamontagne.
Yep. Yep, that's exactly where it is. Beth? All righty, we're going to move along. So there's no consideration of special events permits tonight, so we're going to move into reports and letters from department heads and officials. Barbara, looks like you're up for a couple of issues, so why don't we start with RRA BIAP grant for Olympic Pizza.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So Christopher Burke is applying for a $5,000 BIAP grant to relocate and expand his pizzeria to 54 Woodstock Avenue. Funds will be used to purchase equipment. The total cost for the project is around $850,000, and the balance will be paid with other resources as delineated in the application. The application meets the criteria for the grant with personal investment of more than $34,000. And the RRA board met on July 29th and moved to recommend that approval of a $5,000 grant to Boo's Pizza LLC, DBA Olympic Pizza. And copies of the BIAP application and business plan were sent to you in your board packet. And Christopher is here to say a few words or to answer any questions you might have.
Okay, why don't we have him come up and hi, good evening.
How are you?
Welcome to our Board of Aldermen meeting.
Thank you, and thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm just adding a restaurant and a bar with a, like a banquet facility that can hold 35 to 50 people. It's gonna take some time. We've been doing this since the Monday after Thanksgiving. So I just want to say thank you. I hope that gets approved. Every nickel helps. But anybody have any questions? And by the way, everybody calls me Boo. No, call me Christopher.
Oh, I'm going to have a million questions for you, like when's the pizza ready? So, all right. So Alderman Talbot, go ahead.
Yeah, I'd make a motion to suspend the rules and take this
Second.
matter up tonight.
All right. Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes.
And
Alderman
I'd
Talbot.
make a motion to approve the $5,000 BIAP grant to Boo's Pizza LLC, doing business as Olympic Pizza.
Second.
Okay. So the motion is to approve and it's been seconded. Now we have any debate or questions? So Alderman Gillam, you go first.
I just want to commend the property owner, or the new property owner, of all the paperwork. Very good, very thorough, excellent.
Thank you.
Okay. Alderman Donahue?
Yeah, so, since the application was in a while ago, it was May 9th.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you've been able to obtain the state and city permits at this
Neil
point.
and
since
Green
we're
was working
out.
on that, and then I stopped today. Michelle helped me with something. They're all in the works. I don't know. Ed Clark is working on. I'll do the minutia of applications, but I have no idea how to fill out permits. So they plan on starting construction in August 18th. They're deconstructing right now or demoing, and Scott Dykeman at Bank of Bennington has all the permits. I don't think we could have closed without him.
Yeah. So I guess I just asked if we could amend the motion to make it contingent on receipt of state and city permits.
I'm not comfortable with that. We don't typically do that for BIAP.
And I couldn't hear what you said.
There's a
Tom,
separate
so-
city
or Alderman
department that
Donahue.
verifies permits. I think it's just complicating this process.
So I was just suggesting we make the amendment to the grant, that we offer them a $5,000 grant contingent on the receipt of the state and city permits that are required, which weren't available at the time of application, which is on page 2, number 8
I
of
just
the
received
RRA's
an
application.
email bill for $70 for some permit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's already a commercial building. We're just gutting it, change of use, and that's already been filed.
I'm good with that.
Okay, so I'm going to,
Why it would be inappropriate to make it contingent on permits.
It's not been past practice to this board to make BIAP grants contingent upon permits. You know, we have a building and zoning department that makes sure that permits have been applied for and issued appropriately.
okay. So the maker of the motion is not happy with making it contingent. The only other option would be to have a separate amendment proposed.
Right. So I will do that. I'm asked to make an amended motion to approve the permit for the approve the application for the $5,000 grant with the caveat that state and city permits are obtained.
Okay. Is there a second on the amendment?
Second for debate, Mr. Chairman.
It's seconded for debate.
Can I
Okay.
ask a question?
We have to vote on the first.
already have
We're
a
just trying,
business.
yeah, if you could, I'm just trying to get it, you know,
I don't know how this works.
squared away down here, and then I'll go back to you gladly. Alderwoman McClure.
I would actually like to yield to Barbie Spaulding and ask, has this ever been a precedent before? Has this board ever historically put a contingency on a BIAP? Or would this kind of be an unfair expectation of Olympic Pizza and they'd be the first person to deal with this?
I don't know that it's an unfair expectation. I think that when they sign the grant agreement, they are saying that they have all of their permits and everything that they need for the project, so. We haven't done it in the past, there's not been something like that.
Okay, Alderman Gillam.
I understand where Alderman Donahue's coming from, but I've been in business before. You can't open the building until you get a CO. So I know our department's going to get a CO for that business before it even opens. So all the permits have to be in place before that happens. So I'm very confident that the agency is doing their job, and what they're doing here is a good thing.
Okay, Alderwoman Davis.
I just want to point out that Olympic Pizza has been in business for a number of years and has followed the rules and the regulations of the city of Rutland. And I think that we will continue to do so.
Okay, thank you.
And I just want to point, I'm not suggesting they're not following the rules. I'm suggesting that we make sure that the permits are in place before we provide a $5,000 grant. I trust this man, it's not the issue. It's just the fact that there's a process in place. It's on page 2, number 8 of the application, and it's not complete. It's to be determined, permits to be determined. There may be a number of permits. There may be a zoning issue here. It borders a neighborhood. There's a lot of potential concerns, and I think that we should just make it contingent on that, and I'd be happy to provide them the $5,000 grant.
Thank you. Absolutely. Alderwoman Taddeo.
I will be supporting Alderman Talbot's original motion as presented because I think the suggested amendment is just creating administrative burden and administrative waste.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and now I think we've got that straightened out. I'll come back to you. I'm sorry.
Let's say this deal fell through. Do I still qualify as the business I'm in now for repairs? Adding employees and all that? No?
It would have to be a separate application,
All right.
a new application.
Okay, so let's bring it back. So this is the amendment. So this is to approve the $5,000 contingent on obtaining state and local permits. That's the motion, the amendment on the floor. Seeing no further debate. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
No.
Okay, motion fails. So we're back to the original motion, and that is to approve the $5,000 BIAP grant. Any further debate? Seeing none. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed?
No?
Motion passes. Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Do I go this way?
Thank you very much.
Good luck, my man.
Take care.
Okay, Barbara, you're up next once again, and this is a BIAP forgivable loan for Treviso.
Yes. So Michelle Erickson is applying for a $10,000 BIAP forgivable loan and referral to Heritage Family Credit Union for a secured loan to open a modern Italian restaurant at 24 Wales Street in the former Table 24 space. Funds will be used to renovate the space and purchase equipment. The total cost of the project is $153,000, and the balance will be paid with other resources as delineated in the application. The application meets the criteria of the loan with personal investment of more than $10,000. And the RRA board met on July 29th and moved to recommend to the Alderman approval of a $10,000 BIAP forgivable loan and referral to Heritage Family Credit Union for a secured loan to JCC Homegrown LLC, DBA Treviso. Copies of the BIAP application and business plan were forwarded to you in your board packet, and Michelle is here this evening if she wants to come up.
And we certainly don't want to make you come up, but you are more than welcome to. So welcome.
Welcome, thank you. So we have just opened Treviso. It was the old Table 24 on Wales Street. We've had our first full week. We have some additional equipment needs. We're really excited about being there. I think that the area itself having more businesses operating, and people in that area will help other things happening in that quadrant of the city. But yeah, do you have any questions?
I've heard
Okay.
wonderful things.
Thank you.
So Alderwoman Taddeo.
Well, I'm so excited to come to your restaurant, and I will make a motion to suspend the rules. And take them out,
Okay.
actually.
A motion made to suspend the rules and take the issue up tonight. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion passes.
And I will move to approve the $10,000 BIAP Forgivable loan and referral to HFCU for a secured loan to JCC Homegrown LLC, doing business as Treviso. Copies, oh, yeah, thank you.
Second.
Okay, motion is made and seconded to approve the request. Any further debate? Any questions for our guest? Alderwoman McClure.
Not a question, but I've had the pleasure of dining with you now twice in the last week because I don't like to cook at home. And I love everything, and I cannot wait to see what else you do next.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, motion passes. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, that it tonight for you?
Yes.
Oh, okay, very good. Thank you very much. So we're going to move on to reports of standing committees. We have two reports from Alderwoman Savage. So if going in order on my agenda here, it's the Charter and Ordinance Committee meeting of June 30th, 2025.
Thank you. The members present were myself, Alderwoman McClure, Alderman Copley, Alderman Gillam. The others present were President Allaire, Alderman Talbot, Alderwoman Davis, Alderman Clifford, the Fire Chief Lovett, Planning and Zoning Administrator Ed Bove, members of the public, and Gordon Drusilla. The meeting was called to order at 5:30 p.m. First up was a discussion to include language suggested by Chief Lovett for the modification of the fire alarm ordinance. The chief stated that up until now, no one had followed the recommendations of the NFPA, which is a governing body that oversees fire alarm systems. He then showed his key ring, which contained an extraordinarily large number of keys on it. Chief Lovett then explained that if a building is on fire, he has to shuffle through the keys in order to find the right one to see what's going on with the fire alarm system. He also explained that if the city adopts the new federal standard that's coming, each officer will only have 4 keys instead of a 2-pound mess of keys, and they can get into each control panel and reset it quickly. Chief Lovett recommended that the following recommendations of the Underwriters Laboratory using 4 keys listed, the CAT 30, the PK 625, the 1347, and the 17003, which are brand specific to all of the fire alarm control panels there are in the city. A question was asked about how businesses would be informed about the key change, and the chief explained that at the end of every July, beginning of August, they send a bill for their lock boxes. They will include the new information in the mailing for the same postage. A question was asked that if a modification of the existing language about the 4 keys was new, or if the whole thing was new, and a new section 2807 or 2806. Chief Lovett indicated that it would replace the language that is there. And I will say that after the meeting, I went in and noticed that there may be a problem with that, and so I put this issue before Attorney Bloomer, who is working for the city, and reached out to Chief Lovett as well to see what we needed to do next. Because a motion was made out of that meeting to adopt the new language as presented by Chief Lovett to replace the existing 2807 or 2806, and it passed in committee 4-0, and I so move, but with the caveat that I would like to read what Attorney Bloomer said, because he has given us a path forward to make this its own standing ordinance within the ordinances and not replace 2807 as long as there is a unanimous vote by the board.
Okay, so you do have a motion that came out of committee. I think we need to second that motion to move forward. Alderman Talbot?
Alderwoman Savage could choose not to move the motion. If
She could choose. I'm not sure exactly what you have from Alderman Bloomer.
Can I read what I...
Yeah, go ahead. Why don't you read that?
Because there are several changes to what the committee passed, I recommend seeking a unanimous vote to adopt the ordinance to be on the safe side to comply with Section 203 of the ordinances. In each case of the proposed adoption, amendment, change, or repeal of an ordinance, the proposal shall be offered in writing at a regular meeting on the Board of Aldermen, and no ordinance shall be adopted, amended, or repealed at the same meeting at which the proposal for the adoption, amendment, or repeal is offered unless by unanimous consent of all aldermen present. So do I then not move and choose to move? Can I choose to move the language? I mean, this is
Why
very...
don't you hold up, Alderman Talbot?
I believe she could just make a motion to suspend the rules and then make a
Absolutely.
motion.
Add that
It
to
would
it.
have to be a unanimous vote.
Right, on the first
For
vote.
the first vote.
Yeah, okay. All right, why don't we do that? Why don't you hold off on that first motion? Motion to suspend the rules.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion passes. Okay, so a motion to approve the language proposed by Attorney Bloomer would be in order.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. And for my edification, could you read that again?
I would love to read the new language.
Stuff. Yep.
So the suggested language for the modification of fire alarm ordinance section new 2808. All buildings located within the city of Rutland shall utilize a CAT 30, a PK 625, 1347, or 17003 lock to secure the main fire alarm panel. No other locks are to be used. Any proprietary remote annunciator panel keys that are part of the FACP-UL listing for the remote communicator shall be kept in the key box system required by 2806, which is another ordinance in the same family. A key for remote pull stations, if applicable, should also be kept in such key box system. B, existing fire alarm control panel access keys and locks shall be converted to the standard provided in the subsection of this section prior to the next required annual test and inspection performed by the third party, which is required by the Division of Fire Safety from the state of Vermont. C, in the event of the existing fire alarm control panel will not accept the lock key assembly required in the subsection of this section, a variance may be granted from the chief engineer or his or her designee. However, if the panel is replaced at any time, such variance shall automatically become null and void. D, penalties. Any building owner violating this requirement shall, after receiving due notice by the chief engineer or his or her designee, be subject to a civil penalty of up to $500.
Okay. I think that was important that you read that, so we have a better idea of exactly what we're voting on. All righty. I don't know if there's any questions on that. Looking for a unanimous vote to move that along. Alderman Gillam.
Sorry. Just trying to understand here. This is over a period of time as the units are turning over, this is going to happen, or this all has to happen at one time?
So,
as inspections come across?
yes, and what the fire chief has said, that they're already moving towards it, and they've been moving towards it for a while now, but this is just securing it, and we're coming up to what will be the federal standards.
Okay.
So this is bringing us up, so.
I'm all in favor because I think this is important for public safety. I mean, for the fire chief and those guys to get into these boxes because they have to reset it. Because they're the ones that have to reset the alarms, not the public. So, yeah, thank you.
Okay, seeing no further debate, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed.
No.
Motion passes, but not unanimously.
So it has to come.
So it would have to come up again at the next meeting. Okay. Alderman Talbot.
To table until the next meeting?
Um,
Can bring up under unfinished business at the next meeting?
That would probably be the appropriate move. So,
Second.
motion to table, and it's been seconded. Motion to table is non-debatable. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Okay, that takes care of that one.
Right, up next on the agenda was a discussion on feeding pigeons and wild animals in city spaces. This concern was brought to committee by a downtown resident who has noticed a rise in destructive rodent population, seemingly corresponding with the increasing levels of persons feeding wildlife within the downtown district. After a lively discussion covering the ordinances by both Burlington and Toronto, it was decided that the language could be added to Title 17, Chapter 3, 3123, dispositing offal, garbage, etc. in ways or waters of city to cover public health issues of feeding wildlife. It was decided that the new language would include and that no person shall put or place or cause to be put or placed in streets, lanes, alley, or other public places in the city, privately owned spaces without consent of owners or the waterways thereof, or any house, dirt, ashes, garbage, shreds, shavings, filth, offal, oyster shells, food or animal feed, or other kind of rubbish, except in such place and manner as the Board of Aldermen may prescribe. Violations of the provisions of this section shall constitute a public health nuisance. It was also noted that the civil penalties for the violation of this are not less than $50 or more than $500. A motion was made to approve the new language prohibiting the feeding of wild animals in city spaces, and it passed pending comment by legal counsel at 4-0, and I so move. And I do have the language from proposed by our attorney Bloomer, who is our acting attorney.
Okay, so the motion
And I don't think
is-
it varies from much from what I read, but I would read that, and that would be what I would move.
Okay. All righty, why don't you go ahead?
Okay. The language now pending from Attorney Bloomer is depositing of awful, garbage, etc. in ways or waters. No person shall put or place or cause to be put or placed in any street, lane, alley, or other public place in the city, in the waters thereof, or in any privately owned spaces without consent of its owners, any house, dirt, ashes, garbage, shreds, shavings, filth, offal, oyster shells, food, animal feed, or other kinds of rubbish, except with respect to public places or waters, in such places and in such manners as the Board of Aldermen may prescribe. Violation of the provisions of this section shall constitute a public health nuisance.
Okay, so that's the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, sorry. So there's a motion and it's been seconded on the floor coming out of committee. Again, I would understand that this would take a unanimous vote to be passed on the first.
No, because
No, a city attorney-
Language change.
Just since it's a
Language
language
add.
change, it does not.
And city attorney did not say that it would need to be passed unanimously.
So it's just by majority.
Yep.
Okay, all righty. Alderwoman McClure.
And I would just like to take a moment to speak to some commentary in the Herald I have seen about this specific topic. We are in no way trying to restrict homeowners and tenants who have permission to put bird feeders on their property from putting bird feeders on their property as long as they have explicit permission to do so. And if they own the property, they can give themselves permission to do so. There's been a couple of pretty upset letters in the Herald, and I just wanted to clarify that. Homeowners and tenants with permission can have their bird feeders. We are not taking your bird feeders away.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much for that. Anyone else? Alderman Gillam.
This doesn't just cover birds, this covers all wildlife. Am I correct? Thank you.
Ready? Anyone else? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? No. Motion passes.
Mr. President, just a point of order, what do we do with the vote coming out of committee? Do we need to discharge that, or, because this is a new motion altogether?
If it's pending comment by legal counsel, is it covered then by what the legal counsel commented?
Yeah, I believe it is.
So we discharged?
Yeah,
we
I
did what we're
believe,
supposed to do with the committee.
yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And you have one other thing here in this one?
And
was
that
it?
meeting was adjourned at 5:52 p.m.
Okay, so that takes care of that meeting.
That takes care of that one.
Okay,
Another one.
And yes.
and now your next meeting. Go ahead.
So this is the July 28, 2025 meeting. Members present were myself, Alderwoman McClure by phone, Alderman Kubley, and Alderwoman Taddeo. Others present were President Allaire, Alderman Talbot, the Planning Director, Zoning Administrator Ed Bove, Assistant Zoning Administrator Luke Alexandra, Rebecca Stevens, Chair, and Aaron Hildebrand from the Planning Commission, and Gordon Drusilla from the Rutland Herald. The meeting was called to order at 5:30 p.m. First, Planning Commission Chair Rebecca Steffens presented the draft zoning for review. She explained this draft aims to increase household development by reducing dimensional standards such as lot size, setbacks, and frontage, while also streamlining the subdivision design review process. It facilitates denser housing development in compliance with state statutes. Chair Steffens also explained the draft is user-friendly, clearly organized, and makes it accessible for both the public and planning staff. It meets all state requirements, including those outlined in Act 47 and Act 181, and addressed flooding hazard areas, bylaws, and river corridors. She noted the zoning map was specifically revised for the Loretta home to reflect future development accurately, and that maintaining a permit flow through boards rather than administrative office will help reduce appeals and simplify the process. Steffens ended by stating that the draft incorporates many elements from previous versions and allows for easy updates in the future. We aim to create a cohesive vision that aligns with the upcoming municipal plan while broadening use options and streamlining subdivision regulations. Next, the Planning and Zoning Administrator, Bove, stated that the draft Rutland City Land Use Development Regulations, including the River Corridor Regulations, works to keep the backbone of the existing zoning in place because what's there now works well, but makes it user-friendly and easier for the staff to administer, which needed to be worked in. Administrator Bove presented the draft document, which outlines proposed updates to Rutland zoning laws, aiming to streamline administrative process, clarifying architectural review processes, and incorporating state-mandated changes. Key topics included zoning exemptions, DBR and administrative review distinctions, architecture guidelines, subdivision simplification, and flood hazard regulations. The goal of the draft document is to enhance usability and encourage development and maintain compliance with state statutes. And key updates in the draft document include zoning exceptions, consolidated for clarity and ease of use, administrative review expanded to reduce unnecessary DBR involvement, support for future planning initiatives and community engagement, architectural review clarified to distinguish between the DBR and administrative officer responsibilities, subdivision processes simplified by removing sketch plan requirements, river corridor regulations added to meet state standards and improved emergency relief eligibility, performance standards introduced for all districts to ensure responsible development, and large developments more than 20,000 square feet required DBR site plan review. Administrator Bove stated that the next steps would be to hold a public meeting for question and comments on the proposed changes. A motion was made to set the public hearing for the review of the draft City of Rutland Land Use Development Regulations, including the River Corridor Regulations, for August 18th, 2025 at 6 p.m. The motion passed 4-0, and I so move.
Second.
Okay, so there's a motion on the floor, and it's been seconded to set the public hearing for our next meeting, before our next meeting, August 18th at 6 o'clock. Any debate? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion passes. And Alderwoman Savage.
A second motion was made to the full board to approve the revised Vermont Land Use Development Regulations as presented, subject to typographical last-minute non-substantive changes. The motion passed 4-0, and the topic remains in committee pending the public meeting. And I would ask if we want to table the motion until the next meeting to accept the revised land use document or development regulations as presented, or?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
So the motion is to table?
To the next meeting.
To the next meeting, and it's been seconded. All righty. So, again, the motion is non-debatable. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Okay, I guess that's it.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, and the meeting ended at 6:18.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. Okay, on to Alderman Gillam, Public Works meeting of July 31st.
Okay, buckle in. This is going to take a while. Okay, meeting July 31st, 2025. Committee members present, Gillam, Clifford, Talbot, and Alderwoman Taddeo. Other members present, Alderwoman Davis, McClure, and Acting Mayor Allaire. Department heads, City Engineer, City Commissioner of Public Works, and Tom Garofano from the Water Treatment Manager. The meeting started at 5:30. The first item for discussion was Merchants Row mid-block crosswalk. City Engineer Ted Gillam briefed the committee on the crosswalk improvement proposal. You'll have diagrams in your packet. It shows a couple of what it was and what we like to do. The proposed improvement is also attached. Construction granite curbs bump outs for both ends of the crosswalk, which will be effective, will shorten the crossing distance from 50 feet to approximately 33 feet, and it will improve the visibility for pedestrians waiting in the crosswalk. Install new durable pavement markings throughout the corridor, which will be effective, reducing the travel lane width from 11.5 feet, reducing the motorist speeds, and create a 5-foot buffer between the parking stalls and travel lane, including visibility for pedestrians. Installing the new yield markings, as you can see in the diagram, will be effective. It raises awareness of mid-block crossing so that when the drivers come up, they know there's a crosswalk coming at them. Illustrate to motorists shall yield to pedestrians. There'll be signs there for that. There is no additional cost or funding needed. The costs implementing these proposed improvements will be minimal. The city currently has sufficient inventory for granite curbing at their disposal. Bump outs could be constructed using in-house labor. Pavement markings shall be installed using the current municipal budget. See attachment. Alderwoman Taddeo moves the Public Works Committee to recommend to the full Board of Aldermen to instruct the Public Works Commissioner to implement the proposed improvements to Merchants Row mid-block crossing as outlined in the engineer memo dated July 16, 2025. It was moved and passed 401, and so I so moved.
Second.
Okay, so there's a motion on the floor and it's been seconded. Debate, Alderman Clifford.
Thank you, Mr. President. Am I missing something in here? I believe was brought up and discussed about we talked about having the pavement raised on that crosswalk. Is that in here? Raised crosswalk. That's what that is. Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Alderwoman McClure?
I just would like to really thank Ted and Bob for all of their hard work on this, and for Alderman Gillam for calling the meeting. I work on Merchants Row. Every single person in my office has said we miss the bollards from last year. We miss the traffic calming measures in that section of the street. And it's so great to see a permanent solution coming forward. So thank you all for all of your hard work.
Good. All righty, thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed? Motion passes. Okay, Alderman Gillam?
Okay, the second item is wastewater treatment, ESA and planning loan. City engineer briefed the committee as part of the City of Rutland City wastewater treatment facility discharge permit. The city is required to complete the 20-year evaluation of the treatment plant and collection system. Period. As a result, the Public Works connected to the Aldridge and Elliott consulting engineer throughout the qualification-based selection process, which is previously approved by the Board of Aldermen. The scope of work will include 6 steps. See the attachment A1. That doesn't help people at home, but at least you have it. The project duration, it will be 6 months and cost $73,100. And see the available subsidies, attachment 1A and B. Project will be completed in 2034. Motion by Alderman Clifford that the Public Works Committee to make to the full board a recommendation to authorize the Public Works Commissioner to sign the Eldred Elliott Engineering Service Agreement for the Waste System 20-year evaluation to form the present pending review by the legal counsel of the city, which is whoever the attorney is at the time, and circulate for signatures a CWSRF planning loan application. The vote was 4-0-1. And I so moved.
Second.
Okay, motion on the floor, and it's been seconded. Any questions for Alderman Gillam or debate on that motion?
I hope not.
Seeing none. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion passes. Next.
Does the clerk have the?
I do.
Okay,
Yep.
good, all right. Because I only put 2 pages in there, I didn't put the whole document. That document came to you separately, there was 73 pages in that document, so I didn't feel that we need to recopy that and waste a lot of paper. Okay. Okay, water treatment disinfectant, ESA and planning loan. Engineer Ted Gillam briefed the committee with supporting information and technical information, see attachment 2A, B, and C. Motion by Alderman Talbot. Committee to make the following recommendation to the full board: authorize the Public Works Commissioner to sign the Weston Sampson Engineering Service Agreement for the water supply disinfectant modification project, substantially in the form present, pending review by legal counsel of the city. And that was one motion.
And you so move?
Yes.
Second.
Okay. So there's a
If Ted
motion
wants
on,
to put a little more into there, it's fine, but if not.
so there's a motion on the floor. It's been
Okay?
seconded.
All right.
Anyone have any questions for Alderman Gillam up to this point? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion passes.
I'm sorry, this is a lot of technical stuff, but it has to be done. Second motion by Alderman Talbot, to recommend by the committee the following recommendation to the full Board of Aldermen to circulate for signatures the DWSRF planning loan application, and I so moved.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made to circulate for signatures, and it's been seconded. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion passes. Okay, moving along.
Yeah, hang on,
Yep.
I gotta turn my pages here.
Yep. Center Street Utilities is what I have here.
Okay. Center Street Utilities, ESA. The engineers briefed the committee that the city, or Rutland City, signed an agreement with Otter Creek Engineering to develop a preliminary set of engineering drawings for the utility upgrade on Center Street and Whale Street. This effort will enable the city to produce construction cost estimates, including a memo, is a copy of the amended engineering service agreement to complete the plan, specifications, bidding documents. This effort includes the design and permitting of the water mains on both Center and Whale Street, along the sanitary and stormwater mains on Center Street. In addition, the consultant will work with the private property owners who are currently connected to the sewer main, which is located below the buildings on the north side of the street, in an effort to transfer their connections to the new sewer main. If and when feasible, the roof drains will also be redirected to the new stormwater drain. The total cost to complete this design is $222,500. The funding is recommended this project be used in the Capital Improvement Reserve Fund. A motion by Alderman Talbot to recommend by the committee the following recommendation to the full board: authorize the Public Works Commissioner to sign the Otter Creek Engineering Service Agreement for Center Street Utility Projects, substantially in the form present and pending review by legal counsel of the city. and I so move.
Second.
Okay, once again, there's a motion on the floor. It's been seconded. Any questions for Alderman Gillam on that?
I would like to make a comment.
Please go ahead.
This is a very important move. This is about to help the hotel get into place, also help the businesses downtown improve their plumbing underneath the road. So this is a good thing for everybody on Center Street and Wales Street. This is going to be a big project that's going to happen next spring once it's all designed out and agreed upon. So this is very important that we vote and move this along because it's part of the hotel project.
Okay, seeing no further debate, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes.
Second motion by Alderman Talbot is the Public Works Committee makes the following recommendation to the full Board of Aldermen. Funding the engineering design work utilizing the Capital Improvement Reserve Fund to be reimbursed by parts of the TIF bond that's going to be, hopefully be approved in October. And I so moved.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded on that. Any questions, debate on that? Seeing none. Yes, Alderman Donahue.
Just what I'm assuming that if the TIF bond is not successful, then it just stays coming out of the Capital Reserve Improvement Reserve Fund? Is that
That's correct.
an assumption I can make, or?
I always reserve making assumptions, but the way I read it, yes, that would be correct.
Only because I don't want to presume that
Right.
that will pass. I'm going to be voting for it and supporting it, but I don't want to presume.
Thank you.
And I will be voting for it too, but we have got a couple of months to go yet in education process for the people of the city, and we're hoping for a successful vote. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion passes. Thank you. Moving along, Alderman Gillam.
Thank you. Utility poles application permit process. The city engineer and public works commissioner briefed the committee. A need to improve the standard conditions for above ground and cable project permits requirements. It is needed an additional steps to be sure that the Green Mountain Power completes the pole project, the secondary operator, which is the cable or fiber optic companies, to complete their wire installation on the new poles or install the, I don't know if that's a typo, but complete the work timely to make and cut the blight wire waste hanging from the poles and the wire debris hanging from the projects, and the poles that are actually cut in half, they're still sitting there. The committee discussed they'd like to improve this process for a better outcome of these projects. The committee will continue to work with the Public Works Department on suggestions of the new language to enforce to give it some enforcement powers to hold companies accountable for their clean, verifiable projects, plus cut the timing process for completion of this project, or of the process. We will not refer this to charter and ordinance because we believe you have too much to do. So our committee will continue to work on this with the department and move it out. Thank you so much. There is no action at this time.
Okay, so that's for
I thought you would be
information.
very happy, Madam Chair. River Street project, River Street Bridge project. The city engineers and commissioner briefed the committee on the proposed V-Trans project River Street Bridge resurfacing decking. A need for input to be addressed by the city and the state. A meeting is prepared to make a list of our suggestions to the state, what we thought that's needed on that bridge. The committee also shares some ideas by widening the sidewalks, safety pedestrian crossings, possible post-street dead-ending, or eliminating the curb cut altogether on River Street. Maybe explore some ideas fixing the intersection of Strong's River and Madison Street, maybe a straight four-way intersection, possible removing the island, possible curb appeal on both sides of the entrance to the bridge from Strong's Avenue and West Street, with trees and green space, new lighting on the bridge over the sidewalks. Issue remains in committee for further review. And I believe we have one more, Mr. Chairman.
You do.
Mr. President, I should say. Killington Avenue stormwater drainage, and it exhibits, there's two exhibits that came with that, north or east and west locations. The city engineer and public works commissioner briefed the committee on drainage for 81 Killington Avenue. City engineer discussed possible problems with the road pavement buckling, causing issues with stormwater and winter icing issues. Neighbors in the area are concerned about traveling safety, erosion of private property. Public Works Streets Department will take a look at possible ideas to address the problem and will report back to the committee for recommendations to correct the issue. The issue remains in committee. And the committee adjourned at 6:57. We did this all in about an hour and a half, which I'm very impressed with the committee. Thank you, Mr. President.
You're very welcome. Does anyone have any questions for Alderman Gillam on those last couple of things? Looks like we're all set. Thank you very much.
Just so the public at home, the reason why I didn't show them all these things, because there's just too much paperwork, but the city clerk has all the attachments attached to my report, and they can look that up, I believe, on the website eventually. And so all the issues, all the exhibits are in that report.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to move along. I have nothing listed under select or representatives. Anybody have anything they want to add, bring forward tonight? Alderman Donahue?
Is that reports of representatives?
Well, this would be either select committees or reports of representatives. Yep.
Combo.
Yep. Representatives?
Yes, just to let you know that the, as representative of the Board of Aldermen to the school board, I'll be accompanying Lyle Jepson of the Chamber and Economic Development of the Rutland region and our consultant regarding the TIF district, making a presentation to the school board on August 26th.
Oh, okay. Very good. That's good information. Thank you very much for that. We have no petitions to letters, nothing for Board of Control Commissioners, cannabis. Let's get to unfinished business. Anybody have unfinished? Seeing none. And finally, miscellaneous motions, resolutions, new business. Alderman Clifford.
Thank you, Mr. President. I believe months ago when we signed the JCI agreement, there was a motion, there might have been a motion in there to have them come and give us monthly updates. And I don't believe we've had any since then. So I'd like to request, I don't know if a motion's necessary, because the motion's already been made, but to just request that the representatives from JCI give us that monthly updates, start giving us those, starting with the next regular board meeting.
Okay, all righty, very good. We'll get that on the record. So, you're welcome. Anyone else for new business? Miscellaneous motions, resolutions, new business. Seeing none, a motion?
Just
Gillam?
a point of, may I take a personal comment here if I
A
could?
point of personal privilege?
Thank you. That's what I wanted to say. I want to say thank you very much to the Public Works Department, especially the Streets Department. As you know, there's a lot of pavement been going down. Also, a lot of holes have been patched, and a lot of little driveways that are causing erosion on the road have been fixed. My special hole on Evelyn Street was taken care of. So I want to thank the guys for getting out there and fixing that so people are not using their cars and destroying their vehicles all over potholes.
Very good. And a motion to adjourn would be in order.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.